Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called 64th Street, a detective story. And this was created by Jaleco in 1991. It is a Final Fight knockoff. Pretty similar in terms of beating up enemies, knocking over crates and barrels and stuff, and collecting items that are left. I'd never seen this game before in arcades, and it probably saw extremely limited US release. There's a little bit of a backstory. It's a girl that is kidnapped, and you have to go rescue her. You get to select from one of two detectives as the fighters, and one of them is Rick. And he's a tough older detective with the mustache. And then the younger one is Alan, and he's got a pink vest. I imagine that back in the late 1930s, in which this game takes place, that a guy wearing a pink vest would have gotten his ass severely beat. But this game is not all that great, I don't think. One thing I do like is that you're able to, when you get close to an enemy and you touch them, you grab them, just like in Final Fight, but you get to throw them into walls and make the walls break, and you might be able to pick up items from the shattered walls. And there will be some instances where you can like throw them into the ocean or off a train or something. Holy sheboygan. This game's it's not terrible. It's not the worst Final Fight clone, but it's certainly not nearly the best, or maybe more towards a middling average at best. But you get to do a special attack that doesn't cost you energy. You have another special attack that does cost you a little bit of energy, and there you can break up that car in the back there by throwing enemies at it. In two-player simultaneous play, you can hurt the other player. Most of the time when you throw an enemy at a wall to break it, there will be this porcelain cat, I guess, that appears, and you can only collect it for points. You don't get energy back. There will be some energy restoring items, but not very many in this game. We'll go ahead and get started. I will go with Rick. I'm not sure one is a whole lot better than the other. Rick is probably a little bit stronger. I know that Alan is a little faster. The enemies in general are usually pretty easy. When you grapple with an enemy, you can repeatedly hurt them with the attack button. If you push in any direction and the attack button while you're grappling, you will throw them. And like I said before, it's nice to throw them into a wall or that car. And there I got an apple from the wreckage. That'll restore some energy if I needed it. Now, there will be, if you press the attack and jump buttons together, you will do a special attack that uses some life. If you only have a sliver of energy and you try to use that special attack, you will still be able to use a little special attack, but it'll be super weak. You can do a dash attack, which is forward and the attack button. And for Rick, it is a flaming punch. There will be boss fights, of course, and it's important to learn which attacks work best against the bosses, which deal out the most amount of damage. It's also helpful to learn which regular enemies it works best against. The regular enemies are not that difficult. They are if you let them gang up on you big time. But some of the bosses can be a real pain in the butt in this game. Even the first one can cause you some trouble. Yeah, I'd never seen this in arcades, and I'm sure it got extremely limited run in the US. I'm not a big fan of it. Much of the music sounds more like it's at home in a Sega Genesis title. Darr. Yeah, I don't need that cake. Yeah, there's this dramatic segue animation oftentimes when you end a certain section. Darr. But yeah, Rick, if you just push forward and A at the same time quickly, you do what's called a burn fist. Alan will have a dash tackle for that same move. Rick's special attack, the first one that causes a little damage on his life meter, is a spiral upper, and we'll look at that later on. His second special attack is called an axe handle, and that's the weak one if you have almost no energy left. You'll hear the music change when you reach a boss. And here's the boss music. There aren't many energy items that you can pick up. This is not the boss here. Once you knock him down, back away because he's gonna do a kick. Darr. Yeah, the graphics aren't terrible, but they're nothing to really write home about in terms of versus fighting games. This guy has a big old sledgehammer, and he likes to really quickly swing it at you, or there was my special attack, or he likes to slam it on the ground and cause damage to you no matter where you are. Yeah, this boss is kind of a pain. Rick might have longer reaching punches than Alan, and so he might be better to use against this boss. But yeah, keep in mind, just him swinging the mallet onto the ground can cause you damage from far away. Go! You get 3 lives per credit, which is nice. And I don't think you get an extra life at a certain amount of points. There we go. And now we go to the wharf. And here is where you can grapple with enemies and throw them over the edge. Very useful. But again, both Rick and Alan have a move where you can press forward and attack. And with Rick, it's a burn fist, and with Alan, it's a dash tackle. We'll look at me play as Alan a little bit later on. Darr. these guys can do a little spin kick. They can be a pain in the butt if you let them. And when they get up, they do the spin kick, so back away once you knock them down. Yeah, use this wharf to your advantage. Throw the guys off the dock so you don't have to worry about them again. Yeah, I definitely had not seen this in US arcades. It does kind of feel like an early Genesis title. I do like that. I do like throwing the enemies into walls and having the walls break and having an item sometimes pop out, but usually it's just something for bonus points. And again, there really aren't enough energy increasing food items. But generally, the regular fodder guys are not that difficult to deal with. It's some of the bosses that are a serious pain in the ass. And yeah, even against some of the fodder enemies, some attacks work better than others. That burn fist can devastate some enemies. Maybe grappling and punching while you're grappling can do more damage to others. I hope you enjoy your upcoming weekend. I plan to get a ginormous pizza from Godfather's that I hadn't had in a long time. It sounds really good. My family and I used to get what's called a jumbo combo, and it was like a multiple meats, olives, onions, and it was crazy good. It was really a deep dish pizza. And they still make it, and it's still as good as it ever was, that I can tell. So I'm gonna order that tomorrow, or Saturday. Darn. Yeah, once in a while there'll be crates that will fall, and they can land on you and cause damage. I got a big day tomorrow before I go to work. I'm getting estimates on getting all my windows replaced. It's going to be incredibly expensive, but I've got to get it done. These are, I think, mostly original windows from the 50s, so it's overdue to get them replaced, and the sills are all funky looking. So it's work I've got to do. It's probably going to be thousands and thousands of dollars, but I've got the money and I need to get it done. Dar. Yeah, this isn't the worst Final Fight type of game. I'm not sure what would be the worst one. I know I've definitely played worse than this. I believe I've done videos of games that are fighting games that are worse than this. I think there's that Rick and Alan have cameoed in another game, and I don't remember what it is, but it was another Jaleco game. But that guy is one of the easiest guys to fight. He's just so predictable. Dar. Still not to the to this boss here. The boss on this level is the easiest boss in the entire game, and he's a pirate, and really all he does is this spinning attack, swings his arms around in a circle, and he's so easy to beat, and we'll look at me beating him a little bit later. Yeah, there aren't nearly enough food restoration or life restoration items in this game. They're almost all just bonus points. Those big burly guys, sometimes it's not a good idea to grab them. Sometimes they'll attack you while you try to grab them, but not usually. That is probably my favorite element of the game, is that you can throw the enemies into the wall and break the wall away. It's just the most ridiculous sound effect in the game. Dar! Oh, yeah, see, there he grabbed me and bear hugged me. And there's the boss music again, and here we'll see the pirate. Well, sometimes bosses will just use that same move over and over on you as you fall down, but here's what you do. Back away and let him do the spin move at you, and jump kick. He'll get hit every time. But just make sure that you do it on the same horizontal plane as him. If you stand vertically, he can spin right through you. That safe right there can be destroyed for an item. I don't know if it's gonna have a health item or not. But see, I've got almost no life, and I'm gonna beat him by just repeatedly doing this trick, and he's gonna fall for it every time. Yeah, use that desk to your advantage to make sure that he attacks you on a horizontal plane. It may take a long time, but I will beat him. It seems that most of the bosses will not allow you to grab them to grapple and do an attack from there. But if the pirate guy keeps falling for this attack, why not? And now we go to the railroad yard, and just like it on the wharf, throw the enemies off to dispose of them easily. And there was his special attack that takes off a little bit of energy. Yeah, some enemies go down real quick with your, what was it called? Burning Fist or Burn Fist? We'll look at me using Alan in a little bit, because I'm almost dead. I'm not going to continue with Rick. So I'll put in my initials as Rick. The high score list at the very top is really high. I couldn't quite reach it. So I got 5th place. But in just a moment I'll play as Alan for a while. And there's Alan's dash tackle, forward, and attack. He's faster than Rick, but probably not as strong. You can grab the enemies the same way and throw them in any direction. Well, I hope you all have a happy holidays coming up. I guess President Trump signed an edict saying that federal employees get Monday off. I'm a federal employee, but I will not likely get Monday off because I have to. I work at a hospital and I have to take care of high care areas, dialysis and chemotherapy, and they're going to have patients there on Monday, so I'm going to have to work. But I will not be working Christmas. And here's another boss coming up. And this guy, actually these are two guys. Oh yeah, I hate these guys. Yeah, they are jump kick happy. Ugh, assholes. Yeah, you usually cannot stop their jump kicks. And they jump kick so fast, and they cannot be stopped, it seems. I put in tons of extra credits. And when you have multiple extra credits, you get to stop and choose whether you want to keep playing as Alan or if you want to go back to Rick. Yeah, Alan's special attack is called the chopper kick. And that takes a little bit of energy off your life bar. And there's his dash attacks. There. I like how even if you're playing as Alan, it's still the narration or the dialogue talks about Rick instead. We're not gonna do a whole playthrough. We'll see snippets of the rest of the game. And again, basically learn which enemies... Oh, I hate those falling crates. Learn which enemies are susceptible to which attacks. Or go down faster with which attacks. Some enemies will go down quicker with Alan's dash attack. Or they might go down quicker if you grapple them and attack them instead of just throwing them. We'll scoot forward in just a second here. Yeah, I'm not sure what that item was. Maybe it was a large pen. I can't tell, but it was a bonus item. One thing I liked about Final Fight, well, I liked a lot of things about it, but one thing I really liked was when you pick up an item, it'll tell you what it is. It might be like a watch or a cat statue or something. Or there's the next boss, and I hate this one too. They don't do that in 64th Street. You don't know what it is unless you look carefully. Yeah, this guy can do an extended punch. He's a robot. Even if you have a pipe, he'll sometimes get his punch through and hit you. It's really annoying. And I don't think you can grapple him. I've tried, and I think I've dropped him because he was too heavy. Or he fell on me and I would have lost energy. Yeah, see? You can kind of come from above and attack him, especially while he's trying to do his extended punch. Ah, dickhead. Put in a bunch of extra credits. Yeah, we'll scoot forward to me beating him. Sorry, I'm kind of tired. It's about my bedtime. I just want to finish this narration first. And now we're at the headquarters of the kidnappers. Yeah, the music isn't great in this game. It's kind of Genesis, early Genesis quality, I think. I love the Genesis. I was very happy with it. I guess eventually the Super Nintendo outsold it, mostly because the color palette was so much better. But the Genesis had better music. Well, they don't have the cutscene musical cue. Yeah, I bought the Genesis when it was really new and had Altered Beast as the pack-in game. You'll have to face this pirate guy again later on. But he's so easy. Just back away and then turn around and jump kick him when he does the spin attack at you. Rinse and repeat. But try to keep it to a horizontally scrolling attack. Much easier to counter than vertical attack. Oh, and these annoying guys, God, I hate them. Well, we only see one, but I think the other one's coming up. Well, maybe not. Maybe just the one. But we'll scoot forward in just a bit to later on in the level. Durr! And now we're going to play as Alan again. Yeah, I wish that they did like Final Fight and would have a description of the item you picked up, because it's sometimes hard to see what it is. The guy I just threw looks like the Ultimate Warrior. I'm sure that's what he's modeled after. Yeah, I can't remember what game it was that Rick and Alan make a cameo appearance in. And oh, we've got the other guy with cybernetic hands, plus the pirate guy again. And see this elevator attendant? You will have to fight him in just a moment. He will turn into a kabuki warrior. Friggin' weird. See? I put on invincibility here. The kabuki warrior will do like some hop slap attack, and he will do another slap attack. But I'll skip forward to me beating him. There he fell with the, what's it called, the burn fist. And we're almost to the end of the game. We're on the blimp, which is the final setting. We'll get to the end, and then we'll be on the top of the blimp as the final area. Unfortunately, you can't throw the enemies out that door and out of the blimp. You can't break it open or anything, and you can't fall out yourself. Now we're going to go to the last area. And we face 2 more of those annoying robots. And we will face a final boss who has like a pool cue stick. And he likes to try to jump behind you and attack you from there. But I have invincibility on, so screw him. Yeah, I hate those robots. But we'll scoot forward to me having beaten the robots and just facing this guy. It says I only have 15 seconds, but really you got plenty of time to beat an area. Do ex machina, or machina, however it's pronounced. The kidnapped girl is as tall as Rick there. Do ex machina, or however you pronounce it, means like a convenient way to end something. And there in the picture, she looks shorter than Rick. She looked huge earlier. But that is the end of 64th Street, a detective story. And now we'll see the credits for the staff. This was created by Jaleco in 1991, and it's another Final Fight knockoff. Not a big fan of this game. Yeah, the music isn't fantastic for an arcade game of the early 90s. Like I said, it's more like a Genesis title at the time. Yeah, the bosses are just too hard at times. It's very, very frustrating. But again, I do like that you can throw a lot of enemies like off a wharf or off a train or into walls. And doing so can get you a free item. But there's not enough health restoration items in this game, I don't think. But that is 64th Street, a detective story by Jaleco in 1991. And in just a little while, we're going to look at 2-player simultaneous play. Now, if you play 2-player simultaneous play, you can grapple each other and do a special move when you throw each other. You can also hurt each other on accident, or maybe on purpose. But we'll select a second player here. There we go. And you could do special attacks simultaneously in either direction to take out enemies on either side of you. But yeah, you can grapple your partner and press A, forward and A, or backward and A. But again, yeah, you can accidentally hurt each other, or on purpose if that's what you want to do. And they're they're beating each other up. Well, that was 64th Street, a detective story by Jaleco in 1991. Well, this is Crazy Clown Radius, and thanks for watching 64th Street, a detective story. And I hope you have a happy upcoming holidays. Take it easy, everybody, and early Merry Christmas. Bye-bye, folks.